Hi, sixth graders. We're going to practice today writing fractions as decimals. Some fractions are real easy to write as decimals, and some of them we look at and we're like, I don't know. So I'm going to try and give you some hints to help you remember how to do this, okay? So let's get started. We're going to start with one of those easy ones that I bet you guys are going to get just like that. And then we're going to do a couple of harder ones, okay? Okay, so my first one, and this is the one I think you guys are going to knock out of the park on the first try, is 3/10. So I just basically told you the answer there. If we read this fraction, it says 3/10. So if I write that as a decimal, I just think about where's my tenths spot, and it's the first spot after the decimal, so I'm going to put my 3 there because I said it was 3/10. And wow, I'm done. That was pretty easy. Now, we can't do that with all fractions. So I'm going to show you the with 5/8. When I read 5/8, well, that's not an easy one. I'm not for sure how to just go ahead and write that as a decimal. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. So when we look at this, we have 5 with the fraction bar over 8. Now remember this. That also means divide. So when you see this fraction bar, that gives you the hint of how we can get this into decimals. We're going to divide because the fraction bar means divide. Now, if I read it again, 5 divided by 8, because fraction bar means divide, 5 divided by 8, that tells me how I'm going to know what the dividend is and what the divisor is. So if it's 5 divided by 8, my 5 is my dividend, my 8 is my divisor. 5 on the inside, dividend, divided by 8 on the outside, divide. Well, I'm stuck. It doesn't go into 5. Well, if you guys remember, when we're doing this, we need a decimal number, so we got to have a decimal somewhere. Let's put it in. And remember, decimals go straight up. And let's add a 0. So now I have a decimal number, so I can get a decimal answer. How many times will 8 go in? So you could use your multiplication chart. We can go to 8. And we can go down until we get as close as we can to 50 without going over, and we find out that's 48 6 times. So I can put my 6 in. 6 times 8 is 48. I'm going to do my subtracting. And I see I have 2. Well, remember, with a decimal number, I can't have a remainder, so I have to keep going. And the way I keep going is add another 0 and bring it down. How many times will 20 or 8 go into 20? Well, 8 goes into 20. We can look on our chart again. There it is, 2 times. And 2 times 8 is 16. And I again subtract. And I get 4. Well, we're not done because we know we cannot have a remainder. So we need to add another 0, bring it down. How many times will 8 go into 40? You found it. We're finally going to be done. Good thing because we're out of room. We are down to 0. Add anymore, and we found our decimal number for 5/8 is 0.625 or 625 thousandths. Okay, let's try one more. 3/8 again. This isn't an easy one like 3/10. We can't just read it and know. So we know the fraction bar is the same as a division bar. 3 divided by 8. So we're going to put it in our fraction or division box. 3 is our dividend. 8 our divisor. Again, 8 will not go into 3. I put a 0. We want a decimal, so I'm adding it and adding a 0. Decimal straight up. It goes into 30 6 times. No, it doesn't. Not 6 times, sorry. 8 goes into 33 times. 24. Subtract. Can't have a remainder. Add a 0. Bring it down. 8 goes into 67 times. 56. We're going to borrow. Subtract. Still have a remainder. Cannot have that. Add another 0. 8 goes into 40. There we are. We finally made it. 5 times. No remainder. We found our answer. 3/8 is the same as 375 thousandths, or 0.375. Okay, so guys, remember the way we can find out how to change a fraction into a decimal. This fraction bar tells us because it also means divide. 5 divided by 8. Add your decimal and your zeros until you come with no remainder and you found out how to do it. Okay guys, hope that helped. Fraction bar means divide, so we divide to get that decimal. We'll see you tomorrow.